Brother. Hello, everybody. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, aka Snacks, and this is show number 15, I believe. And my partner there, introduce yourself.
I am Eric the Fish Snyder on the Fat Fish Podcast, and we're going to go old school today with someone that I have seen right now for the first time in 40 years.
Wow.
Ash Gindy. Give it up for Ash Gindy.
Yeah, Gindy. There he
I
is.
heard three claps. I think that was
No one's
was- that
watching this, Gindy. No one's watching this.
okay. My nerves are gone now.
Let's go through the moments of our archives in our library, and I looked at your resume since, and I haven't seen you in so long. Is there anything you haven't done in the world? Number one, and number two, I have to tell you, when I first met you on October 4th, 1982, I said, "What the f is this guy doing working in a nightclub that caters to college people?" Because I'm going to say something, Ash. This was the uniform back then. That is me and Tony Visick on opening night. You were there. That's the uniform, okay? That's what we had to wear. The shirt.
Good looking guy.
Yeah, well, look, this is what Ash had to wear. That's Ash's uniform.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ash, this place was packed. Mom's Saloon was packed every single night. Ash was a carryover from a place called the Jumping Frog Saloon, which they remade into Mom's Saloon. Ash is this kid. Now, this is Ash when I first met him. That's what Ash looked like. That's Ash.
Whoa.
Remember that?
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That looks like my sister. Is that my sister's picture?
I don't know.
It's my mom. Oh, sorry, it's my mom.
That guy.
If you're a once a woman, it's okay in today's culture. But saying that, we worked this bar, Brad, and you've been in there a million times. You shot a TV show there. You sweat your ass off every shift. It was so busy. And he came from the Jumping Frog Saloon, by the way, was a regular bar that catered to a Brentwood crowd, elite crowd. Then he walks into this establishment, which caters to everyone. And it's dance floors. The guy never had a bead of sweat on his forehead, not one. We had towels. We had other guys had towels on their shoulder, like Jerry Tarkanian and John Thompson. Right? This guy would walk out, hair like that. And all I noticed was, I said to Tony Visick, the guy you just saw in that picture, I said, this guy scores women. I'm hanging out with him.
This man is a stick man from the old country. Buddy, let me ask you, you have the beautiful wife. She's gorgeous. But how much tail did that, show that picture again, please.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, just leave that there. How much tail did this guy get back in the 80s? I mean, look at you. You're like a model type. I mean, you got to tell some stories. I mean, celebrities were in there. You must have done some real tapping around, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
Oh, now he's silent. Oh, never the loss of words his entire life.
I mean, I remember Michael J. Fox. At least, anyway, in the play. No, very kind of you, but how do I say this?
Say the truth. You're under oath.
Okay, it was LA 80s. We were very unique for Brentwood because suddenly we are a place that is attracting everybody and their mother, and we are the cheapest place in town, and the formula worked. Cheap booze, great music, young people, pretty people, food delivered to you, and it just worked. And we were all young, so I mean, I don't think I was any different from it. Oh, there's my cat. She heard it. Sorry, can you see her?
Speaking about a pussy,
she's from.
She's pussy.
From, yeah, talking about girls. There is my favorite. So,
Ash, you're a very humble guy. Let's get right down to it.
Yes,
Ash, you had the gift of gab. You had the movie star good looks. And did you date one girl back then? Did you date 10 girls back then? Were you a free agent? Let's get down to brass tacks here.
Okay. I'll tell you a phrase I learned in LA. I went out with someone and she said to me, "Are you a player?" And I didn't understand that. My vocabulary was all from England, and she explained it to me, and it was very. And I said yes, and it was the '80s, and I
We've established the
I
decade.
made, my, I made myself feel better, to be honest, that unless I made a commitment to someone, then I didn't feel guilty that the fact that I wasn't dating one person. And it's still the same to this day. The people I have loved in my life, I have never cheated on, but there have been very few, maybe 4 or 5 in my life. Outside of that, I've never stayed with one person. And I've felt I had to stay with that person because there wasn't love involved. But when there's love involved, I'm very old school.
What
So
you
you're
Boring,
honest.
boring, I know, but
no
also my love is sitting beside me, and if I say any more detail, she has a knife.
well tell your love this. What I learned from you, because I'm a young kid, 22 years old at the time, and everyone else there was in our young 20s, is the class that you had. That you were so classy, and you bartended, and there was a score, and your girls, scores of women that we were all your wingmen, and you only worked there for less than a year because this just wasn't your style. You're the kind of guy to be the bartender in a chic nightclub in Beverly Hills or something like that. This was not your forte. But what I remember the most about you was your elegance and nice, and you didn't put up with all the bullshit and all. And
And
I remember after walking there.
you never once asked me out.
I didn't. Well, I wasn't. Well, no, but I asked your sister, who looks just like you.
Which is funny because I don't have a sister. It was actually my
Well,
brother.
Actors are walking there like Rob Lowe and Sean Penn and take a look at Ash and go, "Oh, we're effed. No way. If this guy's an actor, he's going to beat us out on the next time if we have to go on an audition." Like I said, you taught me class and elegance because I'm a bartender.
You have none.
I have none. And, I have the mentality now, Ashley, of a 12-year-old. Back then, I was an infant. And just hanging out with you and talking. And it's the accent. I think if everyone had that accent that Ash has right now, Ashley has, that beautiful Tudor English accent. Could you imagine? Imagine Brad going to a Passover dinner at his family 30 years ago, right? And his grandpa Izzy said, love, can you please pass the mustard for the knish? That'll be, cheers. Instead of what he really heard was, God damn it, where's the mustard for my knish? Everyone needs your accent. We'd
Do
have a
that
better
again.
world.
Do that one again. God damn it. Where's Mark niche?
That's the way, I'm saying is everyone needs your accent. I think if everyone had an
I
English
have a
accent,
question for you. I have a question. When we knew each other, I'd only been in America 2 years. I was a boy that had just spent 5 years in London. I had a because I think your listeners now may be thinking, this is not a heavy London accent. But since in the last 40 years, traveling around the world, living in Egypt, living in Qatar, living in Thailand, my voice adapted. When I worked on TV, they said, I don't want English accent. MTV said that we want American to have a dialect coach. So what you remember, that heavy English, really doesn't exist in me anymore. So the viewers, in case they're thinking, or the listeners are thinking it doesn't make sense, it was really heavy London, which looks strange because I look like a Mexican. To them, I'm Mexican in LA. They always took me for Mexican. So they wanted to, hey, hombre, hey, ondele, immigration, or whatever.
Vatos, hey, Ash, Vatos Locos forever.
Vámonos,
Bien
muchachos.
social.
Vámonos.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, Ash, you worked in Thailand. I want to ask you a couple of questions about that.
Yes.
I traveled after college. I went to Thailand. It was like an adult Disneyland for me. Okay, I love Asian women, and wow, I mean, this guy told me something. He goes, "Don't forget Bangkok. If you're not careful, you might bang your cock." That's what he told me, and I've lived by those words. Is there any truth to that? I gotcha.
Okay. Sorry. Can I tell a little story?
Yes.
I was 20 before I went before I met the fish. I worked in a casino in London, and there was one of our customers that used to go there all the time and always brag about, not brag, actually he wasn't a bragger. He told the truth about he'd go over there and pay a very minimal amount of money for the service, and it was free flowing, and it was normal society there. Jump many years later, and I was heading over there. I was married. Alex was very small, and my first wife, because I've been married twice, said to me, "Oh, I've heard girls grab you in the street. What a bunch of rubbish." The truth of the matter is, you got Phuket, you got Pattaya, the big street, and what they do is they've decided this, like Soho in London, this is where all the seedy part of life is going to take place, and it takes place. Outside of that, it's normal life, except for the fact you got these girl places, and there are more of them than local 7-Elevens in America. But there's no one grabbing you. They're sitting at the front. You make the deal and walk in, and that's your choice. But there's none of this preconception that everywhere you go, and
Right.
in fact, it just doesn't. I didn't see it, and I was there 2.5 years. But
I
in the
never.
city,
Yeah.
no, go
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead. No, finish your. I'm sorry. I
No,
cut
I'm
you
just
off.
saying I saw it, and the way all of these different places differentiated is that all the girls or girl boys or whatever wore different color t-shirts. But you chose to go to this area. Wasn't like you're going to the local laundry and suddenly someone grabbed you with a net and the money was taken out. That
Right.
preconception just doesn't exist. But I love the country. I
It's a
love it.
beautiful country, beautiful people. I just remember somebody coming up and go, light show, light show. I go, is there a light show somewhere? I sure, take me there. And I
Sure,
walk.
can I wear my glasses?
What I saw these women do on stage. I mean, it was. I don't know if I can tell. All right, I will. Um, Somebody shot a dart out of their private parts into a balloon.
That's a skill.
That
You
was
have
a.
any
I
phone
was like,
numbers?
I
You have any
was.
phone
Thank
numbers?
you very. I mean,
Sure.
I saw things on stage I think I'll never see again, and it was fascinating. I really it wasn't my thing, but I because I wanted to be in the culture. I partake in a few of these events, and
Uh,
I
just
really
it's
can't
just for research.
research. Oh,
The
yeah, for
send
this
to the
movie and
institute.
this book I'm doing. Yeah, but to be honest with you, I can't wait to go back. But it was really fascinating. It was so much fun. The food, I love Asian food, Asian women, Asian anything, Asian anytime. So I can't go back there. I don't trust myself.
No, okay. I love all of that. What I love most is that a long time ago, the king decided that the minimum wage was 10,000 baht. I don't remember the exchange. It was about $300 when I was there, 2015, which allowed everybody to eat and drink well and go on a holiday. That is wonderful for a third world
Oh
country.
my God, yes.
Then they learned the service industry. You go, you get a bottle of Coke, you got a little plastic bag, the long straw full of ice. You don't take the bottle, and off you go. I mean, the service industry was just spectacular,
Yeah.
and they allow themselves their people to enjoy a good style of life. And by doing that, they lowered a lot of the big incomes down, so that the bottom 30-40% income still had a nice life, could have a nice vacation every year. I really respected that.
Yeah. No,
You,
it's
Too
you, uh,
boring.
you talked about Qatar and you talked about Thailand. You lived in Italy, England, France, America. What country? And now you live in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt. What country was your greatest adventure?
That's a good question, because most people would say, where would you like to go back to? And I would say 100% Thailand. I love the people. It's affordable. I love the food. But greatest adventure, I it's impossible to impossible to answer, because I never like to go on holiday for like a week or 2 weeks. When I went to America first time, it was 6 months. Then I went back to England, saved money. Then it was 13 years. Then it was Italy 4 years. Then it was Thailand 2.5 years. Then it was Qatar 3 years. So in that time, there were wonderful times of my life in America. Some beautiful times in Italy after I stopped being scared of going back to Europe, of the food and the travel and the culture. So that's a very hard one because I spent my youth in America, my 20 to 30. What a wonderful time I had traveling across America, going across the 10 freeway twice from LA to New Jersey and to New York, 3 years in Vegas. I mean, so to say one, because I get that a lot here. What's better, Egypt or England? There's no better. There's every good and bad, but I've had great times when I've calmed down and I wasn't, all uptight and wanted something. Each country gave me something special. Even Qatar, I mean, I don't want to be rude, it's not my favorite country, but I spent a year with my child as a baby with a lot of money to do everything we wanted as far as fun games. So even that gave me something. So that's a tough question, but it's a good one.
Ash, did you say hard one? I heard you in that describing when you asked the question, which place you like better. You said that's a hard one.
Now I see we come from the hard.
What I'm trying to figure out is what I'm trying to figure out. I want to get back to the legend of Ash. I've been getting dirty looks from Fish. You left a legend behind at Mom's Saloon, and besides Fish, do you talk to anybody else from those days?
Did I what?
Oh, you were a legend for that year you were a legend at Mom's Saloon. Do you talk to anybody else that you work with besides Fish from back in those days?
Not actually from Mom's Saloon, no, but the strange thing about it, it's very strange how in a very small period of your life, just before I met Fish, I was at Mom's Saloon and 4 girls came in. I was 22, they were 25. We're still friends to now.
Those girls that were screaming? Oh.
They're and then Fish. And then there was about 15 people in a period of 6 months that are still a part of my life right now. What you're pertaining to, I can't keep going back. It was the 80s, and it was, if I told the truth, this show would be very boring.
You would be arrested. You would be arrested. But you're no.
Well, the truth is,
you fell in love with a girl. You were good to her. You didn't cheat on her. She was your girl. That's the way it was. But then now you decided to have a different type of life. You met this wonderful woman that we just met, and that's your life. But I'm just saying, you didn't play games. You know what I'm saying? You told these people, are you a player? Yes, I'm a player. Yes, I did this. Yes, I'm enjoying my life. There were no expectations to a relationship or anything like that. I respect that.
Okay, now I'm going to break your heart. You want your heart broken?
Please, it's broken every day working with Fish.
I met a man called Michael around that time. We were actually waiters in Nick's restaurant in where the hell was it? Just over the 405 freeway. And we became best friends. Truth of the matter is, I mean, you try. I'm not sure where you were going with that, Brad, before, but the truth of the matter is that I was a very lonely, insecure 25-year-old, and the fact that I spent a lot of time with a lot of women was nothing to do with sex, was to do with that I needed
companionship,
not to feel alone at the end of the night.
I understand. A lot of people do.
And I think the fact and the fact that probably I was so popular was that they realized that.
No.
And you often would come back and say,
let me
why
jump
did
in
you stay with me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, you were popular because you were sincere, and there's a lot of Mom Saloon alumni pages, and I'm the only guy you're going to know that was there from day one to day done. And when I educate people about the history of that place, and Brad and I are trying to do a little project about it, there was a guy named Ash Gindy for the first year that only few people know. Chris Fickle knows, Tony Visick knows, the people that started that place. But there's no Mom Saloon without Ash Gindy, okay, in my opinion. And why people were attracted to you is because you were sincere. Why there were 17 women hanging with you at the end of the night is because you were sincere. You were never pompous assed. You were never. I'm not trying to kiss your ass, but I learned from that. You don't have to be. You don't have to be on stage all the time or say the lines. Just being yourself, blowing that you were alone. I didn't know if you're lonely because I never saw. I never. I mean, the times we went out afterwards. You remember those times? You had we
Yeah.
had we went out after the bar was closed. You knew private club owners. The parties, and at parties you would hold the drink a certain way and you would have dialogue for a 25-year-old that 25-year-olds don't have. You knew literature and stuff like that. You know what I knew back then? Okay. Was this I knew, hey man, did you see Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Remember when Spicoli was in the car and he was smoking pot?
It was a good movie, I tell you. Without that, there
Great
would be
movie.
no whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Sean
well,
Penn, great, great movie.
that's the thing. That's why, and every single time I would say, "Thank God for Facebook," because I would say I kept in touch with a lot of people from moms, and when Facebook came along, we said, "What the hell ever happened to Ash Gindy? The guy's got to be." I say he's modeling somewhere, but I look at your resume. I'm going to segue. I mean, you're an actor, you're a writer, you're a teacher, you're a host. I mean, the only thing you haven't done was manage a Kentucky Fried Chicken, but some tells me you've done that too.
No, that's probably right. Well, you know what? I was talking to my son I was talking to Alex the other day because we have to make, he's 12. I said a little bit more time before he decides where to go. And I said, either he decides he loves something. I never wanted to be anything. I just, I was never, I mean, if you read any of Paulo Coelho's books and The Alchemist and all that kind of stuff, you know,
Yeah.
it's a, warrior and all of this. I mean, I wasn't lucky. My father was an engineer from day one till he died. I never wanted to be anything. I just waited for the signs, and I was lucky enough that life, guided me. I mean, we can't all work in a factory for 40 years. I mean, we need these people. Otherwise, otherwise there'd be no life. We'd have no shoes. But I was just lucky enough and worked hard enough. I've got a great friend. You should be on your show. His name is Tony Stock. He lives in England. He came to Sharm el Sheikh with his friend Marcus. They were in a rock and roll band, and they were semi-famous, say 25 years ago. Anyway, this man works his butt off, and we're very similar. And he said, so many friends. He's doing well for himself. He said they always say, you fall down, you fall in shit, and you still come out smelling good. He says they don't know how many things I try constantly, how many times I fail, and I still stand up and I go forward. They think that I do every project and I've just made $1 million. No, the guy fails at 90% of what he does, but then he gets up and does another new 10 projects. I'm trying to instill that in my son, that get up, you fail, get up. It's okay, no problem. You lost a tennis match, be a better tennis player. And I really believe that. That's why I've done 50 jobs in my life.
Yeah. That's what I've learned. I've learned from Brad. We're friends, but Brad never quits. Never. Guy's an actor, working actor. He's always doing something. And in that business, he's never let rejection get you. I've known actors that can't take rejection in life and they get out of it because their egos are too big. So I make fun of this guy that all he cares about is Asian girls right now. But he's a hard worker.
Yeah, but he can't go back to Thailand, though. I mean, I want to hear why exactly.
You got to take him to Thailand.
They have eye scans in Thailand. He probably wouldn't pass the eye scan. Beep, 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 beep. And he wouldn't even get into the airport.
Why don't you pay for Ash and you guys go to Thailand? He could be your guide because
I would love that.
That would be Hangover #5, the movie.
That would be incredible. Just to hang out with Ash and watch his every move. But Ash, I always learned from my dad, never give up. Tomorrow's a brand new day. if you have to fail from the university of failure to ever succeed. And that's, little Alex should know, keep pushing, keep doing.
Never
And then
quit.
all of a sudden it all comes together, luck and timing. And then you found what you want to do and you become very successful at it. And really, but I have to commend you, Ash, because I'm from LA. I've seen a lot of abuse towards women. I've seen a lot of abuse towards men. I'm so thankful Me Too came about. But I tell you something, you told the truth. You told these women the truth, and this is what you do. And if you want to be a part of it, great. If not, I love you just the same. And that takes a real man. There's all these selfish people out there, men and women, that want this, they want that. That's not what it is. You hurt people's feelings, you violate them, you need to be taken care of and accounted for. And these people don't. And that's why each one of them with Me Too is being found and being dealt with. It's called karma. It'll find you. But Ash, you're a good man. You're a good man, buddy.
So,
You're
yeah.
kind. Thank you.
Ash, one thing I have to get into is Days in a Maze, Simply Unthinkable. His books on poetry, Bradley, and you get them on, and we're going to plug it and get on Amazon Kindle. It's a part of me that I read and seeing you is passion, and your writings are terrific. And that when you write that kind of poetry, it says everything about who you are. I commend you on it. Tell me about that process in your life about writing.
I was a 19-year-old working in a casino in London. At the end of the night, I'd write things on napkins, and I met a guy. I'm not sure if it was the Thailand guy or another guy who just said, just keep writing. So I kept writing, putting, at the end of the night, you never know if it's any good or not. I couldn't play the guitar very well, 3 or 4 chords. So, I'm singing 15 different songs with the same, set of chords. And my voice, trust me, singing is not, I wish, is not one of my gifts. Anyway, I come to Egypt. I meet this gay female choreographer, and we get on great. We start dating, and then I have the courage. I send her this bag, and she said, "What's it? Why is this in this bag?" She took the bag and she put it on the computer. We still had computers, but no, this is not 30 years ago. What am I talking about? 20 years ago. She put it on her computer. And then we ended up with getting like 12, 13. And I really didn't know what was good or bad. I knew what I liked. And it's very hard sometimes to think that what you do, someone else may like. I've always had that problem. So anyway, long story short, she puts it together. We release it. And the writing confidence started from there, but for sure, for anyone who wants to write, we all have something to say, but it is the hardest form of expression because being on TV, they like me or they didn't like me. On radio is the same. Writing, if you write like me, it comes from the heart, and when someone doesn't like, it really hurts. But you have to just let it go because it's not your right to say, no, you didn't understand it right. No, they understood exactly what they read. So you can have someone read something and say, wow, this is deep. And someone else say, this is fluff. This is like a fortune cookie. And you have to say, thank you and be humble because it's not fair to say someone, no, well, you should have read this and this and this. No, they read what you wrote. So to expose yourself, it is that for me, without doubt, after being on TV 25 years, radio 9 years, it is the hardest. It is like going and asking a girl to dance for the first time. And 1 week she says yes. And next week you have courage, you go up and she says no. And you have to walk back to your drink. And inside, you are destroyed because you took that chance.
As they say, there's a lot of fish in the sea, right?
Well, there's only one fish here. The main grandfather fish. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
granddad,
Thank you.
granddad.
Thank you.
Going to be a great grandfather. I have a question for you. We have two questions on our show that we ask every guest. One is,
Oh,
what was your first job when you were a little kid, little Ash, growing up? What was your first job, paying job? What was that?
Paying from my parents or paying from external?
Just like a paper route or McDonald's or a job that
Uh,
you went and got and you worked when you were a little kid. And how old was that?
I think the first was clearing snow. All it
Clearing
took
snow.
was a all it took was a shovel and one of these packs of salt, and you'd
Right,
knock on the
right.
neighbors and say, "Can I clean your driveway?" And they say, and they look at this little shrimp, 7 years old, and they say, why not? So you put salt all over it and drag it so they could take their car out. Well,
How
uh,
much did you get for that? How much?
um, very, very little. I believe it was like 5 English pennies when England used to have 240 pennies to the English pound. The
Oh,
English are a little bit
yeah.
crazy. So right now, let's say 2 cents.
Oh my God.
I knew how to make money. Two
Oh my,
cents.
you're another Rockefeller.
Oh,
The other question
that's,
I have for you is, what would you tell your younger Ash? What would you tell? You've lived an incredible life, traveled around the world, you've dated, you've met wonderful women, you have a beautiful son. But what would you tell your younger self? Would you have changed anything in your life to this date?
that's a great question, and the answer is very simple for me because I talk about it all the time. I will change nothing. I am so grateful for what I have in my life, and I would not have it.
Oh, you're getting a little emotional. I like that. That's okay. It's okay, Ash. Take a
you
minute.
wouldn't have it if you didn't meet me.
Oh, Doris Fish ruined your life.
That was the emotional part. Thank you for saying. I no, I would not change a thing, and I would tell myself, don't be so scared. Everything scared me in my life. And the one constant is people always looked at me and said, God, you're so confident. And that was the opposite of everything I ever was. I've never been confident in my life about anything.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I want to get you out of this a little bit. Talk to us about you working at MTV, which is so big in the 80s and 90s.
Oh,
What
wow.
were TV
What was
days
that?
like?
What was that
This
like?
is luck. All
Yeah.
right, all right, all right. This is a good story. Are you ready for a 3-minute story?
Yes.
Please.
Thank you. Okay, I'm in Las Vegas. My best friend Mike is having a party in some place in Venice, some nightclub. He invites me over. It was my Elvis era. I sucked at it because my hair was great. I was about 32 years old, 33, but I couldn't grow sideburns because there was a big hole there. As you see, those in that picture, there were no sideburns. I had the sideburns of a 15-year-old because they wouldn't grow. The hair was missing on my face. So anyway, I turn up to this nightclub. I am, I mean, I've had a few. I am pulling every girl in the place, not pulling as in pulling. I knew everybody because they were my friends, girlfriends, and wives. So I am dancing with every girl in the place. Not a single girl says no to me. Then a guy comes up to me and says, Ash, he didn't know. He says, no, he didn't say Ash. He just said, he says, I've been watching you all night. Would you like to have a job on MTV? And I'm thinking, the guy's hitting on me. So I said, yeah, sure. Anyway, at the end of the night, I stay at my best friend's place. He tells me this guy is his relative. He watched me on the dance floor with all these girls, thought that I was like Mr. Stud, but they were my friends. Of course, they didn't say no to drunk Ashley. And that he really thought I could fit. So I went back to Vegas, flew back. I made the tape, the worst tape you can ever imagine. I spoke Arabic. It sucked. On the tape, I got my arms down. I'm without. It looked like I'm grabbing dick on there because, like, you got your arms down and holding. and I sent it off, and the Saudis who owned Orbit Television said, "Who the hell is this guy? He can't speak Arabic." I tried to speak French. My French sucked, and he's grabbing his dick. So after that they took me, and I arrived in Italy, and they said, "Sorry, the Saudis don't like you. Change your voice." So I went to a coach for 6 weeks. They only gave me half salary. After the 6 weeks, I re-auditioned, and they accepted me. That's a true
Wow.
story of MTV.
How long did you work for them?
Well, it was actually a very short period of time, um, about 9 months, because MTV was part of Orbit Television, which is in the Middle East and North Africa, though they can be seen all over the world. They had such a big argument. MTV said, "No, we don't agree." So they said, "F you." So they changed it to Music Now. So technically, I was only on MTV's 9 months, but then it changed over to Music Now, and I spent three and a half years. I became the interviewer there, and I interviewed maybe 120, 130, Michael Jackson,
Wow.
Bon Jovi, Tina Turner. I was very lucky to be the head interviewer, and the funny thing about it is that I'm the one who ended the contract, because I was flying all over Europe interviewing people, which sounds wonderful, but I was just so lonely living out of a suitcase that I thought that this was enough. And now I look back thinking, "What are you nuts?" But 3 years of living out of a suitcase, it's good in the fantasy of people who look up and say, "Wow," or look at whatever young stars on stage, and a million people are saying, whatever, I don't even know, BTS or whoever. The truth of the matter is, when you go back to the hotel room, you are on your own. There are no million fans screaming your name, and you wake up alone and do it again. And after 3 years, I wasn't one of them. I'm no Michael Jackson, but in my limited small world, 3 years of doing that just destroyed myself. So I can see how these big superstars, Taylor Swift, whatever, can go through therapy, because you're leaving 50,000 fans and you're going back to the hotel room alone. I was leaving 20 people and going back alone, and I felt terrible. So imagine leaving that much love and going back to your life that doesn't have that love. You really need the support system. So it's not all it seems, but it's a nice life while it lasts.
First of all, how old were you when you did those interviews, and what was the best interview you had
Let's see. I joined MTV at 34, 35, without doubt. The best two interviews was Michael Stipe. I felt I was beside greatness, and Janice Smith. Janice.
Michael Stipe of REM.
Right.
Yeah. But Janice. Sorry, I'm saying the same first.
That's okay.
Janice. Anyway, I'm sorry. I can't.
Well,
I was this woman, and
Ash. Janice
yes.
was a girl. Janice was the girl you pulled out of the Playboy Mansion when we were there in 1983. Okay.
Oh yeah. That was a
let me help you there with your memory there, son.
I tell you, that was an interview of sorts. No, Michael, why I felt I was like beside greatness. The manager came and said, "Enter the interview," and both looked up and said, "We decide." And both looked at me and said, "Ash, carry on." And it felt like they wanted to. It was all about them, nothing about me. But I think they appreciate the fact that I didn't really care about the last album. I want to know about them, their life, what had gone on. And there was just, you look at someone. I mean, sometimes you don't know. Like I mean, it's like, why after 40 years, Fish and I can talk in this level. Why I meet my love here, and one night she's like, your heart's beating. It's like, who knows why, the reason. But with those two, there was something magical. I mean, there's others I wish that, I wish I'd met Oprah, Muhammad Ali, and David Letterman. Those
Oh,
three I wish I'd interviewed.
but you know what's great about an interview, and Fish knows this, is to peek behind the curtain of life. Everybody knows when you're on stage and you're singing your songs, but I want to know the real person. And today you showed a little emotion, Ash, and that was a beautiful thing. Thank you for, putting down the walls and expressing, how you really feel about these questions.
Yeah.
When was the first time you knew you wanted to get rid of Fish out of your life? That's what I really want to know. Was it when he said hello? He had you at a hello?
Well, well, the truth is, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to admit to, but considering he found me again, it was like, what's the chances? What was the chances he'd find me again? So, you know, but I have, seen the pictures of the new baby, and he's so proud. I don't like social media very much, tell you the truth, and I try to spend as little time as I can. And it's a big danger for the future. I think what you guys doing is beautiful. Even no matter what, how many receive. It's a kind of show that it's like Larry King on the old CNN. He did an interview. Right. He wants to know none of this flashbangs, Fox, and then it's like that. That's all effect, like the games for the kids. I try to keep these games that my son plays. I mean, what you're doing is wonderful to get an audience to listen to real values. Going back to Fish, it's like you got me there, Brad. I tried, but he threw in the children, the grandchildren. Hey, listen, I'm a softie, Alice. He got me. I'm back in.
I'll tell you this. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll wrap it up with Ashley L. Gindy by saying, I want to thank you for mentoring a young, immature nightclub bartender to be. You taught me how to be a man in a year, and you taught me grace, and you taught me class. And for years, I always wondered what happened to you. So you could hate social media, and I get all the dangers of it, but social media reconnected us, reconnected me and Brad. Yeah. And you were a big part of my life. You don't know that. I get emotional about that. And I'm so glad that you're in my life again. And I'm going to try and make it to Sharm el Sheikh and hang out with you. My wife gives me a hall pass. Does your girlfriend have any friends? Because I don't care. I don't care what they are. I'm kidding.
Bring the missus. Bring the missus.
I'll bring them. You'll love.
We have plenty of room.
I don't want to bring the missus because she'll love you.
I don't think so. But no. Listen.
You. Ash, who plays?
You're right. That is the good part of social media. You're right.
Yes. Ash, who plays the Ash Gindy story? I'm thinking Keanu Reeves. Maybe show that picture again. Yeah, there we go. Maybe a Keanu Reeves. Who plays you in your life story? Tom Cruise. By the way, how old are you?
64 right now.
Oh my God, you look fantastic, man.
Dude. You're kind. You know who's gonna play me?
Yeah.
My son.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. There you go.
I don't know what he wants to do with his life, but he hated being on TV with me. Then by the second or third time,
yeah,
he has the ability to look in the camera. It took me 2 years to be able to be myself. Now the camera goes on, I'm on myself. I don't care. Some people never become themselves. They have to put the fake persona. By about 4 times, after 4 times, Alex is Alex. You put the camera on, no difference. And you guys, what I feel, by the way, why I like what we just did here. And sorry, I haven't watched you guys. I've seen it on the Facebook and seen little parts. Is that I feel like if I met you, if I left this and saw you in a bar in 5 minutes, we would be exactly the same. And that's an art form, my friend. That's why Oprah is the most famous woman on this planet, because she managed to be herself in front of the camera, and 99.999% don't have the confidence to be that person because they don't think they're good enough. And we're all good enough, but we don't have the confidence. I really believe that.
And whoever you are, we just ended Pride Month. Let me tell you, if you're straight, gay, trans, whatever you are, just be you. Be you. You're good enough. Love yourself and don't listen to the noise because all these people are jealous and it doesn't matter. Love is love. You're born a certain way. Take it and run with it and be the happiest person you can be. That's what I believe. And
I agree entirely.
it seems as though you are a very happy guy, sir. And I
Amen.
can't thank you enough for being on the show. This has been wonderful.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me. And I'm not that old. You can ask me again before before.
You'll be
I-
back. You'll
Oh,
be
we're gonna
Anytime,
have Ash too.
anytime,
Okay.
And please,
That's the thing, something else to talk about, but anytime.
well, we leave Ash Gindy with this. Please go to Amazon Kindle and get Days in the Maze. Get his poetry. It'll lighten you up. It'll show you. It'll go into your soul. So people like me that have gone through stuff, you need to read this guy's poetry because that says everything about life. I love you. Thanks for reconnecting, and we'll see you again, my friend.
Thank you very much.
I love you
All
too,
right.
Ash.
All right, buddy.
I just met you.
Great meeting you, buddy. Really,
And,
it was
and
my
you got a
pleasure.
beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful family. God bless you. Stay safe, okay? We love you. We love you, Ash.
You too,
Thank
guys.
you, buddy. Take care.
Bye bye.
Great interview. What a guy, huh?
Passion. I haven't seen him in 40 years. We came in the queue. He came in the queue, and you did, and it's like we just picked up. And so what I always try and tell people about podcasts, and you get it because you're a successful podcast person. You have another show. I'm going to show you a picture in a minute. It's three guys talking in a bar, and he brought that up. It's about being yourself and just having fun. We have to. First of all, how are you?
I'm doing good. I had a good weekend. I just wanted to share with you. I want to send my my prayers and my love for your cousin Brad. God bless him. What a special guy. He did unbelievable things in his life, and we just want to tell you that we're with you, and I love you, Eric, and
It's hard.
and Brad loves you, and he taught you a lot, and he's not, he lived a short life. It's so wrong. I don't understand why bad things happen to great people, and Brad was one of them.
That's him.
Oh, that's great. Oh my.
3 weeks ago. It's funny. His name is Brad. He's 5 months younger than I am, and just a lifelong, a treasure of memories and fun and camps together. I will tell you this. Your name is Brad. Brad, who I'm very close to, his brother's name is Greg, and you're close to Greg. It's a weird symmetry.
Oh, his brother's name is Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
And it's funny. My wife, last night, congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights that won the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
I do believe you talked about karma early in the show, and a guy from the Golden Knights named Mark Stone had 3 goals, which is called the hat trick for people that are casual hockey fans. Brad's last name was Stone. Listen to this. Mark Stone's number is 61. Brad was born in 1961. So my wife we're crying last night and saying, I know what the Knights mean to this town, Las Vegas. It's brilliant what they've done in 6 years. Every organization should be like them. So there was some good symmetry there. I got to show you a couple. We'll go about Brad. I want to show you a couple of, if I can get to it, I want to show you a couple of pictures that involve you that I think is great. Brad does another podcast called How'd You Start with this beautiful woman, Lauren Francesca. I just love this picture where you play that Captain Snacks character. Look how lucky. And what's the guy in the middle's name? He's an Italian kid. What's the little guy? What's his name?
Joe Griffo.
Joe Griffo. Talk about
Great
Joe
guy.
Griffo because he's leaning into that beautiful lady. That's Lauren, social influencer. They got a great podcast. I'm plugging it. How Did You Start? They've had Tom Sizemore, Barry Williams. They've had Robert Carradine on, a lot of actors. They've had me on.
Nick Turturro, Dave Coulier, the list goes on. We've been very blessed. We've done probably over 105 episodes. It's been a great, great time, and we continue. But I'm trying to get rid of you. This will be my last one. I want to make an announcement, just like Pat Sajak. I want to say this is it. No, Joe Griffo, great guy. I love Joe Griffo because Joe lives his life. Joe is a little person, but he lives his life. He's a great actor. And when I asked him to do that bit for this company called Get Dismissed, he was, let's do it. And we got those outfits. And I think that, these little pieces were what I did for this company, and they brought a lot of business to people who got moving violations only in California. And there's a law called trial by declaration where you send your ticket in with your complaint, and they can dismiss it over the really over the mail, and you don't have to go into court. Saves time, saves and people, power, all that stuff. But I did 60 spots with my friend Mark Sanderson, great guy. He filmed them, edited them. I wrote them. He wrote them. It was great. It was fun. But I got to hire all these great actors, and Joe Griffo was one of the best. He put on that outfit, and it was pretty hilarious.
I got a couple more. One of you that I love that you sent me, because I want you to give an update. Our fans say, give us an update. This is Bradley Grunberg and the great director David Milch.
Writer.
I'm sorry, but
writer.
His resume is phenomenal, and you guys are actually giving props to the writers and writers. What's the latest on that?
We walked the line. I picked David up. He's a dear friend. David Milch has been so amazing to me. He met me in the commissary when I was 20 years old, and he put me in NYPD Blue in the pilot. And he always believed in me and treated me like I like people that treat waiters and staff people like people, And I goofed on him. I made him laugh, and he said, "Oh, you're an actor?" I go, "Yeah, I think I got something for you." And he put me in the pilot with Mr. Stephen Bochco, the legend. And
sure.
He is a wonderful man, and sadly he has dementia now. But I wanted, he has serious dementia. He's announced it. It's people know. I wanted him to be a part of the writer strike because he is a writer and a proud writer. And so I picked him up, and we went to the line of 20th Century Fox, where we met 30 something years ago. And we walked the line. Everybody wanted to take a picture with him, and it was wonderful. We did a true mitzvah for the writers, for just show business. And status report is the directors always settle. It's amazing. They never strike. They got double of what they wanted. Okay, so maybe that will be, a prelude to what they're going to do with us, the actors, and what they're going to finally do with the writers who started this. Writers are the most important thing to TV and film. It's the word on the page. You're a writer, Fish, I mean, these writers need to be respected, okay? These streaming companies, these studios are making billions of dollars, okay? We just want a fair piece of the pie. That's all, a living wage, so we can take care of our families, okay? We get what we deserve. We get our residuals, okay? And we're not talking about a lot of money in the grand scheme of things here, okay? This is all about greed, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. If they do not do it and do the right thing, Hollywood will be closed down, because I love Teamsters. They won't cross the line. No one in a union will cross the line. So it's over. And basically, they'll only have unscripted stuff, reality stuff, and that's not enough.
Yeah. Well, on a lighter note, a fan of the show, a guy that you became friends with, a former guest, said that we have a fan. And he goes, "Let me get a picture to you." And he goes, "This guy likes fat fish." That is Frankie Oli with Chaz Palminteri.
Oh, God, I love
Get
Chaz.
him to finance us. But he goes, "Fish, this guy loves your show." And because he's friends with them. I told you Frankie knows people. And he goes,
"I love Frankie." Yeah. Oh, thank you, Frankie. Thank you so much.
Whenever, Chaz is around, him and Frankie get together. So thank you, Chaz, for liking fat fish. I know we've been gone for a couple of weeks. There's been stuff happening in life, but we're back, and we're gonna have shows like this because I love this guy. He makes fun of him. Look at these glasses. My God, they're horrible. Jesus,
they're better. I think they're better.
But I think I look like Buddy Holly. It's ridiculous.
Well, Buddy Holly did pretty well, better than you.
Before we, I want to end with a little tribute to my cousin. You kind of brought it up. I wanted to give you props because we like to talk sports, and you said if any team months ago, the NBA playoffs were 2 months, you said if any team doesn't win it, not named the Golden State Warriors, it would be the Denver Nuggets because of the Joker, Jokic, Murray, Aaron, what's his name? Aaron Gordon.
U
So
of A, Aaron Gordon.
I want you to go off for about a minute and a half on the Nuggets and what you think their prognosis is for next year since they're such a young team.
I think they're fantastic. My buddy Jamie Wager, he's a writer manager. He told me, "You watch this guy, the Joker. You watch him. He's coming." And I go, "Okay, Denver Nuggets. Who would think of the Denver?" I have never seen a big man like the Joker play the way he plays. He runs the court. He's long. He's 7'1" and moves like a gazelle. I have never seen it in the NBA. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he ran like a gazelle. But this guy, he's young. He's 28 years old. I'm telling you, they're gonna win more championships. They are great. And you saw when I don't know, Murray broke down because he had 2 years. He had to rebuild his knee. He tore his ACL, and my God, he was incredible. The pick and rolls, the defense, it was incredible. And I got to give props to Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler. Wow, he did he to the very last play, to the very last ounce. He gave everything he had, and Miami showed. Who thought of Miami in the finals, right? Great coach, great organization. But I will tell you, I love the owner of the Denver. Look at the owner of the Denver Nuggets. He owns the Rams,
Yeah.
he owns the Nuggets, and he owns the Colorado Avalanche, doesn't he?
Stan Kroenke. Yeah.
Stan Kroenke owns
he married into the Walmart family and married the Walmart Sam Walton's daughter. His son Todd Walton now owns the Denver Broncos. So Walmart has a big in sports. I want to end it with Brad but I want to talk about I'm wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt because there was 200 to 300 people at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills giving a celebration of life to this guy right here this past and it was one of the most beautiful celebrations of life. His brother Greg killed it as far as the speech that he made. But all I could say, if I can give you a couple of stories, we went to basketball camp in 1972 at Cal Lutheran. It was a Bill Sharman, Jerry West basketball camp. Brad Grumberg knows who those guys are, but those are ex-Lakers.
No, I was there. I was at John Wooden.
Well, it's the first time Brad and I are away. Brad, my cousin Brad Stone from our parents. We're in our dormitory, and right outside our dormitory is a vending machine. And Brad takes a quarter and puts it in and pulls out for the Zagnut bars. All the Zagnut bars come down. Puts a quarter. He looks at me and goes, "What the fuck?" Puts a quarter in. All the Milky Ways come down when he pulls a lever. He figures out that they're all coming down. We took everything out of that. And somehow he figured out a way to sell to the rest of the people in the camp without the counselors knowing. And we each made $10. And this is 12 years old. So you knew the guy was going to be successful in life. He got his real estate license at 17, and he was just the salt of the earth. And, if I could say anything about my cousin Brad, in a world so divided in such anger and hate, the only thing divided that this guy had in his entire soul was the amount of love that he divided around everyone in his life, including me. And, I've known him my entire life. I don't want to get too emotional, but I didn't get a chance to talk at his thing. There's too many people and it was structured, but I'm going to say it on this podcast that I see a lot of Brad Stone and Brad Grumberg, and your inner circle shapes you, and Brad Stone shaped me, and I hope there's a better place. I hope there's the afterlife, because right now he's got a big shot of tequila right now, and he's looking down on all of us and he's saying, "Hey, cheers."
Absolutely. That was beautiful. Just you to say that, he reminds me of me. It's very touching. When people go, they watch over the ones they love. And I can guarantee you that Brad is watching over you and your family. And he left us way too soon. But let me tell you, he made his mark on the time he had here, and a lot of people can't say that. So, Brad, we miss you
Yeah,
for everything you did in your life, and we'll never forget you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad Grunberg. Thank you. We'll just get out of here. We got, we'll want to thank this guy, Ashley Gindy.
Ashley, thank you so much for coming on the show. This guy's, God, look at him. If I was gay, if I was, yeah, you know,
judge.
yeah. He's
get
a
us
good
out of here, Brad Grunberg.
Hey, show number 15 in the books. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, aka Snacks, and that's Eric the Fish Schneider. This is Fat Fish. We'll see you next time. Have a great week. Thanks. Stay safe.
Rest in peace, Brad.
And remember, health is wealth.
Right. February 20th, 1961, June 4th, 2023. Legend.